It's a hot night in Kansas City as the fans make their way into Kauffman Stadium. It is Game 2 of the three-game series between the Red Sox and the Kansas City Royals. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Well, the Red Sox have won 2 in a row, and a big part of their victories has been Mookie Betts.
Mookie's outstanding. He has been outstanding, and the Red Sox offense was very, very good last night, led by Mookie Betts with 4 hits in the game. And one of the 4 hits was a beautiful swing to the opposite field by Betts. That ball away from him, keeps his head on the ball, shoulder on the ball, slaps the other way, drives in a run. A perfect night for Mookie Betts, almost 4 for 5.
Mookie Betts is the subject of our Lowe's Never Stop Improving profile.
And in the first 9 games in June, not very hot for Mookie, 143 average, only 1 extra base hit. But look at the last 7 games, a 556 average, 5 extra base hits, and 5 RBIs. And tonight, Mookie hitting in the leadoff spot for the Red Sox.
Now tonight, the Red Sox trying to make it 3 wins in a row, and they'll send Rick Porcello to the hill for Game 2 of this series. Porcello is certainly with a lot of production over the years against this Kansas City Royals team. He is 8-5 with a 4.30 ERA in 19 career starts against the Royals. We're back with more right after this. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Toyota's website for deals via Toyota.com. DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of your Boston Red Sox. Sullivan Tire and Auto Service, thank you, New England, for 60 great years. And by Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at Southwest.com. We are preparing for Game 2 of this 3-game series between the Red Sox and the Kansas City Royals. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo. Well, the Red Sox have won 2 games in a row. If they're going to string together some more, they're going to need their leader and second baseman Dustin Pedroia to be healthy. After missing a couple of games, Dustin back in the Red Sox lineup tonight. Certainly a good thing. We send it down to field level and Garen Austin. Garen?
Thanks, Don. Dustin Pedroia back in the lineup tonight, batting in the 3rd spot for only the 2nd time this season. Manager John Farrell said he's been hitting the ball well lately, and they want him at the top of the order, along with Mookie Betts and Brock Holt. Farrell also spoke about Pedroia's competitiveness and his increased leadership role with his team this season.
You know, as well as Dustin's been hitting, certainly want him in the top of the lineup, top 3 guys, and in addition to that, you know, the way Mookie and Brock have been getting on base, felt like we've got a chance to have some action in the top 3 guys. David in the 4-hole, and everybody kind of slots in behind him. But, you know, when you look at the top 3 guys in the lineup today, they've all been swinging about it very well of late. He embodies everything that we value in a player. The way he plays the game, the all-out competitiveness that he brings day in and day out, the respect for the game in which he demonstrates in all ways, and he's he's even taken on a greater leadership role this year with being a little bit more vocal than he's been in the past. But certainly, more than anything, he leads by example.
And that's tonight's T-Mobile Game Changer performance. Dustin Pedroia getting ready. First pitch is coming up. We'll be back after these messages.
It's a warm night tonight in Kansas City. Nothing but blue skies above here, though, as the lights are on for night baseball tonight from Kansas City. Game 2 of the series after a nice offensive attack last night for the Red Sox and some pretty good pitching, especially the starting pitching last night for Boston. Well, the Red Sox trying to make it 3 in a row, and Red Sox still find themselves 9 games back of the Rays. The Rays have been winning a lot lately, so the Red Sox have been unable to really gain any ground. The Rays have won 3 straight and 8 of their last 10. So the Red Sox, even though they're playing better, still find themselves 9 games off the pace in the American League East. These Kansas City Royals are on top of their division, the American League Central. They come in with a 3-game lead over the surprising Minnesota Twins. Royals are 38-26 and certainly play very good baseball at home. They are now 21-12 here at Kauffman Stadium at home. Well, a lot of talk about the Kansas City Royals and the number of Royals that could be going to the All-Star game as we take a look at the leaders as of Monday, June the 15th. And again, these are updated on a once-a-week basis, and truly amazing as to what's going on there right now. Mike Trout really the only other guy that besides all these Kansas City Royals who is at the top of their own position. And Jerry, the one we take most exception with of all of them is Omar Infante, I think, at second base. Who is a good second baseman, don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure he's the starter in the All-Star game.
Nothing against Omar, but I don't think he belongs in the All-Star game.
Well, the Royals have taken the field, so let's check out the Red Sox starting lineup. It's brought to you by your Eastern Hyundai dealers. Mookie Betts will lead it off for the Red Sox and in center field with Brock Holt at shortstop batting second. Dustin Pedroia at second base bats third with Big Papi David Ortiz, the DH. It's Hanley Ramirez who is in left field. Pablo Sandoval at third base. Mike Napoli dropping down to the 7th spot in the Red Sox order at first base. Alejandro De Aza gets the start in right field batting 8th. And Blake Swihart does the catching and bats 9th. The Royals starting pitchers presented by New England Nissan dealers. Edison Volquez on the mound tonight. His 14th start, 6-4 with a 3.10 earned run average. 62 strikeouts to 29 walks, and opponents hitting at .217 against Volquez. He won his last time out, only a 5-inning effort though against the Milwaukee Brewers. In those 5 innings, giving up 2 runs, couple walks, couple Ks.
The Royals defense is brought to you by DraftKings, and they are 7th in the league with 35 errors in 64 games. Mike Moustakas will be at third base. Alcides Escobar, the shortstop. Omar Infante at second, and Eric Hosmer, the first baseman. Left to right, Alex Gordon, Lorenzo Cain, and Alex Rios, and Salvador Perez doing the catching for Volquez.
Tonight's umpires are brought to you by Buick. Experience the new Buick lineup during this year's Sign and Drive. See your local Buick dealer today. Bruce Dreckman has the play calling the balls and strikes with Alfonso Marquez at first base, Dan Bellino at second base, and the crew chief, Tom Hallion, has third base. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Uncomfortable conditions. It is on the warm side, though. 92 degrees. Feels like 97. Breeze in from right at 18 miles per hour. In the forecast for clear skies the remainder of the night. Nothing but blue skies above as we get it started. Listen, Volquez on the mound from the Dominican Republic. Signed as a free agent here with Kansas City at the end of December 2015, 2016. A mutual option for 2017.
First start that he's made against the Red Sox. Hasn't pitched against Boston since back in 13, and has no decision in the two starts against the Red Sox.
Here's Mookie Betts back to leading off for the Red Sox. He stands in. First pitch of the ball game missing up and in, and we are underway. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. This season, Volquez holding opponents to 183 batting average. First time through the order, which is the second lowest in the American League.
Fastball, breaking ball, changeup, and when he's in trouble, he'll go to his changeup.
Betts hits it in the air to left field pretty well. Back goes Alex Gordon back towards the track and the wall, and that ball is gone. A home run for Mookie Betts to begin the ball game. Betts with his 7th home run of the year, and a great start for the Red Sox against Volquez. A 1-0 Red Sox lead.
Now, Mookie Betts, because of how hot he is, he's been moved back into that leadoff spot, and he gets that fastball where he likes it. Middle in, and quickly leaves the yard to give the Red Sox a very quick run. Number 7 on the season, extends a hitting streak to 8 games now for Mookie Betts. Alex Gordon going back. He'll just turn around and watch it go into the bleachers.
1-0 Red Sox on top, and here is Brock Holt. Every home run the Red Sox hit the rest of the season, Alltown will donate $500 to the Cystic Fibrosis Multiple Sclerosis Fund. Alltown is New England's premier healthier convenience retailer. Holt hitting at .311, 2 homers and 15 runs batted in. And a swing and a miss. That fastball kind of running away from him.
And so far, everything away from Brock Holt, including that last 2-seam fastball that really did do a good job running away from Holt.
Okay, is trying to settle into his outing here after the home run. Breaking ball missing up and away, and again away.
That home run giving up by Volquez, only the 5th allowed this season.
Two is a pop-up that sends Escobar to the outfield grass to make the catch for the first out. Well, Dustin Pedroia back in the Red Sox lineup. .307, 9 homers, 27 runs batted in. Certainly a lot of concern about Dustin. Anytime he is out of the lineup, you know he is hurting. And then to miss 3 of the last 4 games seems like a really big deal. But apparently Dustin was okay to go last night, but John Farrell wanted to be on the safe side, give him one more night off, and back in the lineup tonight feeling better.
I saw him on the way to the ballpark yesterday, and he said he would be playing last night. And then I think John Farrell decided, well, we're going to give you one more day, seeing you feel better, and we'll see how it goes tomorrow. So today, which is tomorrow, he's back in the lineup.
Batting with 1 out, bases empty here in the top of the first inning, a run already in. And Pedroia sends this down the left field line, a foul ball.
Farrell wanted to get his best hitters at the top of the lineup, and right now Betts, Holt, and Pedroia are the hottest hitters along with Sandoval on this Red Sox team, and that's why you see Betts leading off, Holt second, and Pedroia third tonight.
Dustin's got some pretty incredible numbers in this stadium at Kauffman Stadium, one of them the on-base percentage. Reaches out and lifts a fly ball to short right. Rios coming in. Makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So Volquez finding his way here after giving up the home run. That's out number 2.
That's the breaking ball right there. Once he gets a couple of strikes on Dustin, he goes away from him, and that little lazy fly ball out to right field for the second out of the inning. There's that breaking ball down and away, and on a pitch like that, you're just fortunate to make contact.
So 2 down here in the first inning brings up David Ortiz at .230, 9 homers, 29 runs batted in. David 1 for 5 in the ball game last night. Only started one of the 2 games in Atlanta and is 1 for 9 on the trip. Swing and a miss. It was a slider, yes?
Yes, and Ortiz has only faced Volquez twice in his career. He's 0 for 2. There's the breaking ball right there. Working a little bit away from David.
Ortiz fouls it off to the left out of play. Still 0-2. That's 28 games for David against Kansas City. He's had a .319 average, .381 on base percentage. That's now with Hanley Ramirez waiting on deck. Ortiz grounds one with a shift on. It's a shortstop, Escobar. Throws out Big Papi, and the Red Sox are gone. Mookie Betts with a leadoff home run. Red Sox have a 1-0 lead. Lead as the Royals come up. Their lineup is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Alcides Escobar at shortstop, leading it off with Mike Moustakas at third base, Lorenzo Cain in center field, Eric Hosmer at first base with Kendrys Morales, the DH, Alex Gordon in left with Salvador Perez doing the catching, Alex Rios in right field bats eighth, and Omar Infante bats ninth at second base. Escobar standing in and swinging at the first pitch, fouling it off. Red Sox starting pitcher presented by your local New England Audi dealers. 14th start, 4-7 with a 5.29 earned run average. 65 Ks, and opponents hitting at 271. Liner foul. Numbers against the Royals and a lot of starts against Kansas City. Of course, Rick Porcello, formerly in this division with the Detroit Tigers, 8-5 with a 4.30 earned run average. It's Escobar's attention.
That's a good pitch by Porcello. You get ahead in the count, no balls, 2 strikes, come way in, open up the plate for yourself and get the attention of Escobar.
Curveball, popped up foul back and out of play.
I got away with a bit of a hanger right there that time. A curveball that stayed up around letter high. But foul back by Escobar. Wanted to drop that ball down and away. Instead, it hung up over the plate.
Look out, and hit with the pitch is Escobar.
Well, Escobar didn't like the idea of being brushed back, no balls and 2 strikes, and then he gets hit with a fastball as he makes his way slowly down to first base. Now picks it up a little bit.
5th batter that Porcello has hit. Lead runner on for the Royals here in the bottom of the 1st inning. Brings up Mike Moustakas.
There's the 0-2 pitch right there to Escobar inside, and then he gets him with the fastball. Right on the shoulder. Escobar's first base with 5 steals on the season. Has been caught a couple of times. There you see the numbers for Moustakas.
.321 average, good for 4th in the American League in batting average. Miguel Cabrera setting the pace in the AL, hitting at .345. Just a point higher now than Prince Fielder, .344. High for ball 2, 2-0. Moustakas, who doubled last night, knocked in the 3rd and final run in the 9th inning last night, going 1 for 5 in the game, and sits safely now in 5 straight games. .350 during the 5-gamer. On the ground right side, Pedroia will go to second for 1, on to first for 2. So they quickly erase the hit batter there, and there are 2 outs here in the 1st inning.
And that's exactly what Porcello's supposed to do, get ground balls. You get ground balls, you get a chance for a double play, and that's exactly what happened. That ball hit very hard. Brock Holt able to clear himself for the runner Escobar and easily complete the double play for the Red Sox.
So 2 down, and it brings up Lorenzo Cain. 0 for 5 in last night's game. Snapped his 9-game hitting streak. He'll take strike 1. Still hitting at .300 though in the last 10 games. That one buried down and in. 0-2. Porcello coming in with a record of 4-7 with a 5.29 earned run average. He has lost 5 straight games coming in. Here's a liner into left field for a base hit. A 2-out single for Lorenzo Cain in the first hit of the night for Kansas City.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and they are 9th in the league with 41 errors on the season. Pablo Sandoval will be at 3rd base. Brock Holt, the shortstop. Dustin Pedroia at 2nd. Mike Napoli, the first baseman. Left to right, Hanley Ramirez, Mookie Betts, and Alejandro De Aza. Blake Swihart doing the catching for Porcello.
Two-out base runner here for the Royals, and Lorenzo Cain for Eric Hosmer. Even 300 to start the night. 8 homers, 38 runs batted in. Runner goes. The pitch is low. The throw is going to be not in time. Stolen base for Lorenzo Cain.
And Lorenzo Cain, very good speed. That's his 12th steal on the season. He's been caught only 2 times. Didn't waste around going on that first pitch from Porcello. Very good jump at first base. Very good lead at first base. And the one hop here from Swihart. By the time the glove comes back down to the ground, it's going to be safe with the hand in.
There for a strike. 1-1 now to Hosmer. For a slow start to the month, Hosmer 7 for his last 22 at .318. Two-time Gold Glove Award winner. Jumps back out of the way of a pitch inside. 2-1. He got his 8th home run of the season last night in the 8th inning, capping his 2nd straight 2-hit game, and able to pick up home run number 8 of the season. Straight away center field. Now he bats with Cain at second base, 2 down in the inning. Cain taken off for third. Hosmer swings and misses, and nobody covering third base, so Cain steals third without a problem. They'll just let him do it.
Yeah, what happens there is you got the big shift on, not a complete shift, but really playing Hosmer to pull. And Sandoval was so far off the bag, as you can see right there, there's no way he can get back in time. He has to wait for contact, or at least a swing, to make sure he's not out of position. And by that time, Cain's already by him, so he just puts his arms up. Don't throw the baseball.
90 feet away with 2 down. Hosmer with a count of 2-2. Close pitch, but a ball inside.
Hosmer's got good numbers against Porcello. .375 with a couple of home runs.
Inside, ball 4, and he loses him. The first walk given up by Porcello of his outing. But tonight's look at league leaders is brought to you by Captain Morgan White Rum. Please drink responsibly. Entering today, the Royals have an American League best .273 team batting average. Point higher than the Tigers to begin today's action.
They are 7th in the league in runs scored, even though they're hitting .273 as a team. The Toronto Blue Jays lead the American League in runs scored.
Now Porcello trying to pitch his way around to hit batsman. A single, a walk in the inning. 1st and 3rd, 2 down. And Morales takes strike 1. Generous call there. Morales had .286 coming in. 7 homers, 43 runs batted in. DH for the Royals, with Billy Butler now a member of the Oakland A's. And some dancing at third as Cain has taken off Hosmer. They're going to throw. They got him hung up. They're going to keep an eye on Cain. And now he's coming home. Here's the throw. He will be out at the plate. So that did not work out for the Kansas City Royals. Brock Holt able to throw out Cain to end the inning. Red Sox have a 1-0 lead after 1.
Opinion, poor base running here by the Kansas City Royals. They run themselves right out of an inning. They're trying a double steal. You can see the runner going to second just stops. So what they want to do is try to score Kane from third. The problem is Kane goes when Brock Holt has the ball. You're supposed to wait until that throw goes back to the first baseman, then you take off. But Kane took off while Brock Holt had the ball, made it a much easier play at home.
And they run their way right out of the inning. Red Sox with a 1-0 advantage.
Here's a look at Holt. He never takes his eye off the runner at third base, and Kane decides to go when Holt has the baseball. And what you're supposed to do as a runner at third base is wait till that throw is made to the first baseman, because he's going to then spin around and throw home. That's a break for the Red Sox, and in my opinion, poor base running by the Kansas City Royals.
Hanley Ramirez leading it off here for the Red Sox in the second inning. Ramirez, Sandoval, and Napoli expected in the inning. Hanley did not like the call. Very long look back at Bruce Streckman. Popped up down the right field line. Long run for Hosmer to foul ground and over the shoulder. Can't catch it. Off the glove, off the bare hand, and then onto the ground.
A nice effort by Hosmer. Almost a circus catch going down that right field line. First he gets the glove. It bounced to his hand. Looks like he might have caught it in his hand. But then it bounces off that and almost back to the glove. Three opportunities there to make a great play.
Another chance here for Hanley Ramirez. Down 0-2. Fouled at the plate, and we'll do it again. 0-2. Hanley 2 for 4 in the ball game last night. Had a home run. Gave the Red Sox a 6-0 lead with a solo home run last night in the 5th inning. Was his 14th home run of the year. Did only 13 all of last year. Now a ground ball towards Infante at second base. First out of the second inning. Time for tonight's Twisted but True Fact. Pablo Sandoval has 6 straight multi-hit games, which is the longest such streak by a Red Sox third baseman since Wade Boggs did it back in 1989. Twisted Tea is the hard iced tea. It tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. One out here in the second inning for Sandoval. Swinging a foul tip for strike one.
Best velocity so far. He's out on a fastball at 93 miles an hour to Sandoval.
Sandoval on the ground to the backhand of Infante. 2 down here in the second inning. Five in a row retired by Volquez after he gave up the leadoff home run to Mookie Betts, and that'll take us to Mike Napoli. Napoli at 210, 10 homers, and 29 runs batted in. Last 3 games, Napoli 5 for 10. So 3 extra base hits, 2 doubles and a home run, and 2-hit performance here last night. Another strike, 0-2.
Change up at the bottom of the strike zone that time at 84 miles an hour. Napoli, it seems like the last few days has seen more pitches down the middle of the plate than he has in a long time. Now they're going to go away with a fastball.
Wow. Close pitch.
Yep.
1-2.
Napoli fortunate to still have another chance. Two-seam fastball coming back.
Alejandro De Aza on deck. Two down here in the second inning. Napoli with a 2-2 pitch and time called very late. Volquez about to deal, so he'll take a little stroll off the back of the mound. A little bit low. Full count. Some close pitches here for Volquez.
And as advertised, a lot of changeups for him in the first couple of innings.
Dave Island, the pitching coach for the Royals, looking on here as Volquez has 2 outs. Full count to Napoli. Napoli patiently waiting for Volquez to get ready. In the dirt, and Napoli works a walk. Pretty good at bat there for Napoli. First walk allowed by Volquez. Well, June 28th, the Red Sox, the Highland Street Foundation, and the City of Boston are hosting a free Red Sox watch party for kids and families on the Boston Common. Watch the game on the big screen, try your hand at the Steel Home Challenge, and grab some food, and it's all free. 2 down here in the second inning. Runner at first for Alejandro De Aza. 228, 3 homers, and 12 runs batted in for De Aza. Volquez a little frustrated by some of the pitches that were non-strike calls on Mike Napoli, leading to the walk, and 2 were very close. There's a strike, 1-1. Back to the fastball to get it at 93 miles an hour. Volquez last year with the Pittsburgh Pirates. 1 season with the Pirates. 13-game winner last year in Pittsburgh. 13-7 with a 3.04 earned run average. On the ground, softly hit to Hosmer at first base. He will tag the bag and end the inning. Red Sox leave a base runner, have a 1-0 lead. Long Geico will highlight the 1975 Red Sox in honor of their 40th anniversary and their 70th game of the 75 season. The Red Sox beat the Yankees 3-2 Roger Moret went the distance, and the Sox got the win. 1-0. Red Sox have the lead here as we head into the home half of the second inning. Andres Morales, who is batting when the Royals attempted a double steal last inning, and caught stealing was Lorenzo Cain to end the inning. So Morales to begin things in the second. Will be followed by Alex Gordon and Salvador Perez. Porcello was able to pitch his way around a hit batter, a single, and a walk at the double play ball grounded into, and then the caught stealing. There's also 2 stolen bases mixed in there by Cain. Rolled over foul, a ball and a strike.
I see that backdrop right now for the hitters is not very good. You know, you got the pitcher in the shade, the hitters in the shade, but still bright in center field with that sun shining on the hitter's backdrop, and that is very difficult to pick up a spin on off-speed pitches.
Sox in the shift here against Morales on the right side. And is going to ground into that shift. Softly, it's Pedroia back to the infield dirt, who throws him out for the first out of the inning. Ace Ticket, the official Red Sox ticket partner, has the best seats at the lowest prices to all the games at Fenway, all with a 200% guarantee. Right now, Ace Ticket has special savings on all Red Sox games, including the Yankees. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. One out in the inning for Alex Gordon. High drive to right field, down the line in right field, and that ball will be foul.
I lost sight of that as it made contact, but I watched Alex Gordon. He took about 2 steps out of the box and stopped. Knowing right there that it's already foul.
Ten-game hitting streak coming in at 400 along the way for Gordon. Was 1 for 2 in the ball game last night. Now sends it the other way, foul, and into the seats. Down in the count, 1-2. Gordon bats now. Salvador Perez waiting on deck. Alex Gordon always has hit well against the Red Sox. A .349 hitter against Boston. And he'll strike out looking. Grabs that inside corner. First strikeout of the night for Porcello. 2 down.
I love when Porcello does that. Uses that 2-seam fastball against lefties. It starts it inside, spins back to the inside corner, and Druckman making the strikeout call.
Two down here in the second inning brings up Salvador Perez. Perez was held hitless last night, was 0 for 3. Still in the last 11 games hitting at .313. Overall, the Royals catcher at .281. 10 homers, 29 runs batted in. Grounder foul, evens it count at 1-1. Tomorrow on an all-new Charlie Moore. Charlie travels to the cornfields of Iowa to meet up with Iowa University wrestling coach Tom Brands. See what happens when the Mad Fisherman visits Iowa. Tomorrow night at 7 on Charlie Moore Outdoors. Porcello able to get Morales to ground out to second base. Gordon to strike out looking. Alex Rios waits on deck here for the Royals. Perez taking a ball and is now ahead 3-1.
It seems like to me Porcello's sticking a lot more with the sinker here early in the ball game.
Fly ball driven to deep left center field for Salvador Perez, and that's going to tie the game. Salvador Perez with his 11th home run of the year ties this game 1-1. And the home run problems for Rick Porcello continue. That is the 12th home run allowed by the Red Sox right-hander.
Now Porcello in a situation here, 3 balls and 1 strike, where he has to throw a strike, and not much sink on this fastball, right down the middle of the plate. And Perez with the home run to tie the ball game. Both home runs in this game, Mookie Betts, Salvador Perez, both, no question about either one of them when they left the bat.
438 feet and into the fountain and left. His 11th of the year, game tied 1-1. Rios on the ground to Holt at shortstop. Low throw, but it is dug out by Napoli to end the inning. Home run by Perez, all tied 1-1 through 2 innings. Again this year, Bob will donate $1,000 to the Jimmy Fund for every game saved this year. Everybody saves at Bob's. Bob's Discount Furniture, quality, choice, and value. Learn more at mybobs.com. 1-1 game, 2 solo home runs in this game. Salvador Perez just had his. Mookie Betts had solo home run to lead off the ball game. And here we are in the 3rd now, tied up 1-1. Blake Swihart with a count of 1-1. Followed by Mookie Betts and Brock Holt in the inning. Slip there by Volquez at the end of the delivery. He was looking back at the landing area. He's been in the big league since 2005 with the Texas Rangers. 4 years with the Cincinnati Reds, 2 in San Diego, part of a season with the Dodgers. As I mentioned, last year with Pittsburgh. A little bit of a slip in the pitch before.
Every once in a while that landing spot gets a little bit slippery, or you catch the back spike on it.
To right center field for Swihart, and this will get down to the gap, back to the track of the wall. Swihart headed for 2, and he will pull it up there. A leadoff double to begin things here in the top of the 3rd inning.
That's Swihart starting to heat it up a little bit now for the Red Sox as he finds that gap in right center field. Just balance right there on that swing by Swihart and able to take the fastball, hook it into the gap for the leadoff double here in the third inning. So the Red Sox with a man in scoring position and nobody out.
Comes Mookie Betts, who homered Volquez in the first inning. For Mookie, his 7th home run of the year, 31st RBI of the season. Showing bunt takes a breaking ball, and that's in there for a strike.
Now back in the first inning, Mookie Betts gets a pitch middle in, and he takes care of business very quickly for the Red Sox. At that time to get in the 1-0 lead.
And on the grass at third, Moustakas. That's showing bunt again, and he drops it down. Volquez off the mound. Little bobble. His throw will still be in time. On to third goes Swihart on the sacrifice.
It seems early in the game to be sacrificing, but they do have Betts putting it down. Twice he turned around the bunt. This time Volquez almost dropped it right there, but able to come back up in his throwing hand, so he was able to go through the motion and get the out. Infield going to be pulled in, so they're playing this game like it's going to be a one-run game early.
One down, Swihart at third base. Brock Holt, the batter, popped out to the shortstop. Now Alcides Escobar in the first inning, 0 for 1. Holt not waiting around as he fouls the first pitch back at a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
That's why I'm not managing, but I would have let Mookie Betts swing away in that situation. You know, you got the top three guys in the lineup hot, Betts, Holt, and Pedroia, and you got 3 chances to get a man in from second base, and I think I would have let him swing away instead of giving away an out here early in the game.
Holt down 0-2.
Curveball that time from Volquez. A good breaking ball here that dips down and out of the strike zone. Trying to get a ground ball to his infielders with that pitch.
Swihart led the inning off with a double. He's now at third with 1 out.
You think they wanted a high fastball that time? Salvador Perez was motioning with his right hand to get that baseball up in the zone. A couple of times he did it, and then he comes out of his crouch, as you can see right there.
Down the left field line, this ball is going to be a fair ball headed into the corner. Scoring from third base is Swihart. Into second goes Brock Holt. An RBI double, and the Red Sox are back on top 2-1.
Well, good hitting right there by Brock Holt on 2 strikes. He gets a breaking ball inside and is able to stay back on it and shoot it to the opposite field. They want the breaking ball down and in. Instead, it stays away, as you can see right there, and Holt going right with it. So a mislocation, and that hurts Volquez. Helps the Red Sox.
At second base with 1 down, driving in the go-ahead run. Here is Pedroia, flied out to right field in the first inning, 0 for 1. Just the second game that Pedroia has appeared in on this road trip was 0 for 5. In the series against the Atlanta Braves before getting here to Kansas City. Now back in the lineup tonight. Fouls it off the plate and over by the Red Sox dugout. Christian Vazquez catching the ball over in the Red Sox dugout.
Wants to throw, doesn't he? Wants to throw real bad.
Badly. Working out every day in preparation for next season after Tommy John surgery. We're looking forward to seeing him catch this year, but you mentioned Salvador Perez. He's fun to watch. The Kansas City Royals catch, very animated.
Yeah, he is very, very good behind the plate and offensively.
Pedroia hits it on the ground to short. Escobar looks the runner to third and throws out Pedroia as Holt takes third base with now 2 down in the inning. So 2 outs, and it brings up David Ortiz. David grounding out to shortstop in the first inning, 0 for 1. In the dirt for ball 1. Boston-based daily fantasy company DraftKings.com is giving out $300 million in cash prizes. Enter promo code NESSON to play for free. Swing and a miss, fastball by him, 1-1.
Challenge time that time. Fastball against Ortiz, and David a little bit late on the swing. Fastball at about 93 that time. Elevated about belt high.
David 1 for 10 so far on the road trip. Trying to deliver Brock Holt from third base with 2 outs in the inning. Breaking ball, and that misses. Six ground ball outs so far for Volquez. Ortiz grounds it right side. It is the shortstop Escobar who spins and throws out Big Papi. They're in the shift and they get Ortiz. Red Sox get a run, take a 2-1 lead. Omar Infante leading it off for the Royals, 9-1-2. Rick Porcello now has a lead again. Red Sox on top 2-1. Thanks to the RBI double by Brock Holt in the top half of this inning. Infante batting out of the 9 spot, a .229 hitter. Doubled in the 5th inning of last night's game and scored the Royals' first run. It's a one-hopper to short at Brock Holt. Gets it there in time to retire Infante for the first out here of the 3rd inning. Red Sox suites and premium packages provide a VIP experience for you and your guests. Call 877-RED-SOX-9 or email premiumsales@redsox.com for more information. On out here in the 3rd inning for Alcides Escobar, second time through now for Kansas City against Porcello. Escobar was hit by a pitch in the 1st inning and then raced on a double play. Porcello starts him with a curveball that misses high. That one will get in there for a strike. 5 straight losses for Porcello. His last win at Seattle, May the 16th. This is out toward shallow center field. Incoming is Betts. It'll fall for a 1-out base hit for Escobar. 3rd hit of the night for Kansas City. Thursday at 6, tune in to Bruins Face-Off Summer Edition. Billy Jaffe and Barry Peterson will recap the 2015 NHL Awards and preview the upcoming NHL Draft. Bruins Face-Off Summer Edition is brought to you by your New England Nissan dealers. 1 out, 1 on. Mike Moustakas bounced into a 4-6-3 double play back in the 1st inning. There for strike 1 to Moustakas.
Change up that time on the first pitch from Porcello, fooling Moustakas. Escobar at first base, 5 steals on the season, caught a couple of times.
Eight and 5 for Porcello in his career against the Kansas City Royals. This marks his 20th career start against Kansas City. Last year 2-2 against the Royals with a 3.38 earned run average. Down and in, 2-1. It is Moustakas bobblehead night here tonight. They were lined up early at the ballpark today.
11 o'clock this morning they started lining up to get those bobbleheads. And the crowd was unbelievable here during batting practice. I've never seen that large a crowd in the ballpark for batting practice. And they got here early for their Moustakas bobbleheads.
Back to the bag at first is Escobar. Talked about it last night. They've been drawing incredible crowds here so far to begin this year. Already going over 1 million people. Breaking a record for the franchise here this early in the season. And banged out again tonight here at the ballpark. Incredible run last year for Kansas City. Well, it's been a good baseball town. This is lined into right field into the corner. Escobar is headed for 3rd, and he'll be stopped there. It is a double for Moustakas, and it is 2nd and 3rd with 1 out for Kansas City.
Well, the crowd loves him here in Kansas City. They've been, through tough times. They always stayed with him. And change up that time, and he really hooks it right down that right field line. And pretty good work by De Asa to get over there quickly, get the ball back into the cutoff man Pedroia, and that's going to save a run. As Escobar at first base, he knows he's got extra bases. He's just wondering if he's going to be waved on, and no. At the last minute, they hold him up.
2nd and 3rd, 1 out. And Lorenzo Cain, the 3-hitter, coming up here for Kansas City. One hopper picked by Holt, trying to score from third is Escobar. Now they got him hung up. Rolling him back, Sandoval. Now the pitcher Porcello with the tag for the out. So trying to score from third was Escobar. Holt comes home with it, and the Red Sox are able to get that runner out. 2 down.
Now what happened is Escobar at third base had to wait to see if that ball was going to be caught in the air, and then when he sees it bounce, he goes. A very heads-up play by Brock Holt. They try to get him running back to third base, but they couldn't get him going back all the way. That would have held the man at second base, but they do get the tag on him. Very heads-up play by Brock Holt. And that is not a bad base running play because he wasn't sure that there was going to be the ball was not going to be caught on the line.
So Kane reaches on the fielder's choice. Put out goes 6-2, 5-1 on the put out of Escobar. First and third, 2 down for Eric Hosmer.
There was a mistake on the play. Kane should have been standing at second base. He's going now.
No throw from Swihart. That is Kane's third stolen base of this game.
And he should have been going on that rundown anyway, as he was just kind of standing at first base watching the play. Here's the previous play again, as we see. Now watch Lorenzo Cain when he gets to first base. He just stands there. He should be going to second base right now, but he made up for that by picking up the steal right away anyway.
Second and third and 0-1. Hosmer showing bunt and pulling it back.
Adios is probably saying, Eric, swing the bat. You wear out this guy. You got 2 men in scoring position. Don't be trying to bunt.
Stock is at third. Kane at second. 2 down in the inning. Almost hit him down and in. .375 is average against Porcello. Couple of home runs. Now Porcello wants to talk to Swihart. No room for a mistake here. Follow the Red Sox all season with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet today. Second and third, 2 down here in the bottom of the third inning. Hosmer will take the strike, and he thought it was inside.
Not like that at all. A two-seamer that didn't quite make it back to the plate. As you can see on pitch number 4 in the Amica pit zone. Very careful with it because you got first base open.
Full count. Good numbers for Hosmer. Full count, 2 down here in the third. Swihart back out again.
Again, 3-2 count with a guy that's hit him very well. They want to be very careful in what they throw to Hosmer on this 3-2 pitch. First base is open with Morales on deck. Morales has not had good success against Porcello.
Hosmer takes, and he takes strike 3. Came back and got the strike zone. So Porcello gets out of the jam in the third. Red Sox still holding on to a 2-1 lead. Third, 2-1. Red Sox with the lead. Into the fourth inning we go. And Hanley Ramirez leading it off. Hanley grounded out to Omar Infante at second base back in the second inning. Next pitch will be the 50th of the game for Edison Volquez. Line to left and a base hit for Hanley Ramirez. Well, fourth hit of the night for the Red Sox. Third time in 4 innings the Red Sox have had the lead runner on. As we check in with Garen.
Thanks, Don. This is Pablo Sandoval's first time back at Kauffman Stadium since winning the World Series here with the San Francisco Giants last October. Sandoval reflected on how special it is for him to be back.
No, it's sad. It's sad to be back from last year. You know, the great memory that I have from last year. You know, catching the last out, won the World Series here. You know, it's just sad to be back here. You know, pull all those pieces together, recognize all the work we did last year to get to the point. So came here today. You know, excited, right? Remember all those things.
Sandoval 8 for 15 at this venue last year in the World Series, including 3 for 3 with 2 runs scored, a double. He was hit by a pitch in the Giants' Game 7 victory. 1-0 pitch, slap foul off to the left, out of play. Including the postseason, has now hit safely in each of his 8 career games at Kauffman Stadium. 438 average. Does not have a hit tonight. Grounded out to second base in the second inning. Ramirez's lead was about a foot. in the air down the left field line, foul. As Pablo mentioned, he made the catch for the final out of the World Series here in Game 7. What a series that was, and for Pablo and his Giants teammates, their third championship in 5 years.
What a feeling that is, huh? Get that last out of the World Series.
Pablo has had that experience already. I'd like to have it again, this time in a Red Sox uniform.
Cooler that night here in Kansas City than it is tonight.
Yes.
Rather warm.
93 at game time. Got a bunch of rain here in May. 2-2 pitch foul back. Royals, I think, have something like 4 day-night doubleheaders they've got scheduled to make up.
That's what you were telling me last night on the way back to the hotel. That's a lot of doubleheaders to have backed up against you. I can really say this is the first weekend, the first time it's really been warm here in Kansas City this spring.
Sandoval, it's a fly ball out towards right center field. Rios coming from right, and he'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. Hanley Ramirez back to the bag at first. Well, make NESN.com a part of your daily routine. The region's #1 sports site is everything you need, from comprehensive Red Sox coverage to the most Bruins content in New England. Get video and podcast found only on NESN.com. 1 on, 1 out. Mike Napoli, the batter. He is the recipient of the only base on balls allowed by Edison Volquez in the game. Napoli, it's a soft liner to short. Escobar has got it. It's Ramirez back to the bag. 2 down.
A broken bat that time for Napoli as that fastball ran back in his hands. A very soft line drive to Alcides Escobar at shortstop. A lot of movement on the fastball from Volquez. Tied him up that time.
Two down, Ramirez still at first base, and here is De Aza. Grounded out to the first baseman, Eric Hosmer, in the second inning. Foul back to the screen for strike 1. Aza last night 1 for 3. Now made a total of 6 starts in right field for Boston, 2 in left. He's hit at .296 since joining the Red Sox. Hired from Baltimore, exchanged for a minor league right-handed pitcher, Joe Gunkel, and added to the major league roster on June the 4th. They've been designated for assignment by the Orioles prior to the arrangement made by the Red Sox and the Orioles. Ball and a strike to De Aza, and a nice stop there for Salvador Perez.
Keep an eye on Hanley Ramirez. Every once in a while, he likes to kind of lull you to sleep at first base and then take off for second base, try to get in scoring position. Time to do it would be with 2 outs.
Went around, according to home plate umpire Bruce Dreckman.
Couldn't hold up on the changeup that time. Piazza talking to himself or talking to the umpire. It's always best not to look at the umpire when you're questioning a call.
Trying to work him in. Fly ball lifted out towards right center field. Back goes Kane towards the warning track to make the catch over the shoulder to end the top of the 4th inning. We head to the bottom of the fourth, 2-1 Boston. Let's just open an Eastern free checking account in the month of June and you'll get $100. Learn more at easternbank.com/free checking. First pitch swinging is Kendrys Morales. Begin things here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Morales grounding out to second base in the second inning. They gone around. They check. No, he did not, says Hallion. Went around that time. 1-2.
A change up that time for Porcello down where he wanted it. And
I think
out.
he thinks he struck out.
Yeah, he's got another one.
He did go around on that pitch, and he knows he went around on that pitch the one before. Probably should be strike three.
That's rather embarrassing, isn't it?
1-2 pitch in the air to center field. Betts out there waiting, and he'll put it away for the first out of the fourth inning.
Well, Don, you and Morales were on the same page because you thought he went around too.
I totally think he went around. One out. Alex Gordon coming up here. Gordon struck out looking in the second inning.
Morales going toward the dugout, and they alerted him that it's not the third strike. He's still got another chance. And the next pitch, it pops up.
Curveball fouled off. 0-2. Red Sox play for Gordon to pull. Center fielder Betts into right center. Lots of room in left center. And that one's up top again, high. For every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy. Make a donation to Children's Hospital towards a $25,000 commitment once again this season. CVS Pharmacy, the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. Gordon lifts a fly ball out towards left center field. Hanley Ramirez in the sunshine makes the catch out there for the second out of the inning. And we're not playing him in that direction, but Ramirez able to get over there to make the grab.
Yeah, Ramirez was pretty much playing like he would play a right-handed hitter out there in left field. No problem. The ball was hit high enough so he could track it, make the catch.
2 down here in the 4th inning brings up Salvador Perez. And Perez, first pitch swing, pops it up foul back and out of play. He connected on his 11th home run of the year in the 2nd inning, which at the time tied the score 1-1. We're talking about big catchers earlier. We saw the Orioles. Of course, you always think of Matt Wieters and Carlton Fisk, but Salvador Perez pretty big in his own right. 6'3", 240 pounds.
All of his strength right there for the home run against Porcello into the fountain area.
Pops it up this time. Left side of the infield. Pablo Sandoval puts it away, and it's a 1-2-3 4th inning for Porcello. We head to the 5th. It's 2-1 Boston. Rodriguez talks about his hometown in Venezuela. Learn how altitude affects the flight of baseball and enjoy a special Father's Day edition of Small Talk. Catch Nessa Clubhouse tomorrow at 12:30, presented by Delta Dental of Massachusetts. 2-1, Red Sox on top of the Kansas City Royals as the Red Sox come to bat here in the 5th. Blake Swihart, a double and a run scored in the 3rd inning. Out is the difference in the game. Slowly rolled down the first baseline. Volka's got a cover, and he doesn't get there in time. Swihart able to beat it out.
You know, we've seen that a couple of times from Swihart, and good for him, running hard all the way down that first base line. You made contact. You think it's going to be an out. There's Hosmer with the play to first base, and late to the bag is Volquez. Swihart hustling as hard as he can right down that first base line. That's what you should be doing.
And Ned Yost is coming out here, and so is the trainer to check on Volquez.
He didn't exactly bust it over to first base, and they're wondering maybe if he's hurt. was kind of running to first base like he expected to beat Swihart, and Swihart just out-hustled into the bag.
Fourth time in 5 innings. The Red Sox have had the lead runner on. Just did beat it.
Sure did. He hit the front of the bag.
There's Mookie Betts. And it's strike one to Betts on a fastball. Mookie homered in the first inning, lead off the ball game, 7th home run of the year. Then a sacrifice bunt in the 3rd inning. Royals at double play depth here with nobody out. Runner at first base. Soft toss to first, and Swihart back in plenty of time.
If the count gets right in this at bat, possibility of a hit and run with Betts at the plate and Swihart at first base.
Oh, 2.
Count is not right. No balls and 2 strikes. That eliminates that play.
By virtue of the home run in the first inning, now an 8-game hitting streak for Mookie Betts. Fouled off to the right, out of play. That's to center field on a line for a base hit. Swihart will take second base. And the first 2 Red Sox have reached here in the 5th inning.
And bad pitch by Volquez. He's ahead 0-2 on Betts, and he gives him too good a pitch to hit. A breaking ball that's going to be out over the plate. And Betts takes it right back up the middle. So the count heavily in his favor, and doesn't make a pitch that he wants to. Betts reaching out to the outside part of the plate and taking that right back up the middle. Well, the Red Sox bunted earlier in the game when they bunt again with Brock Holt.
Holt has popped to short, doubled to drive in a run his last time up. Round to first base. Hosmer will go to third base for the out of the lead runner on a force out. Interesting there. Didn't expect Hosmer to come up and do that, but he did. And slow to get up at third is Swihart.
Now that's a very smart play by Hosmer. And for this reason, he has no chance of getting a double play the way the ball's hit, right? So he takes a peek over at third base. I mean, this guy's really smooth at first. And that's just a heads-up play because he's not going to get the 3-6-1 double play. So he goes immediately to third base. He still has time and gets the lead runner. Very good play by Hosmer. Swihart looked like he jammed maybe his left ankle as he went into that bag pretty hard.
Two on, 1 out now, and it's Dustin Pedroia's chance. He takes strike 1.
Back leg, the back ankle, the left one, when it hit the bag, looked like it turned over a little bit. See if he's able to come back out and play.
Trying to walk it off in the Red Sox dugout. '70th pitch coming up for Volquez, who backs off the rubber. Pedroia 0 for 2. He is flied out to right, grounded out to shortstop.
Holding Betts on very close at second base is Infante.
Fouled off to the right, and now Pedroia down 0-2. Mookie Betts at second, Brock Holt at first. One out here in the fifth inning. Taking off his Betts, and a little number right in front of the plate. Perez will go to first, trying to score from third as Betts. The throw, not in time. Mookie Betts comes in the back door and surprises the Royals. He just kept on going. Red Sox take a 3-1 lead.
Oh, what a great base running play by Mookie Betts. And, you know, he takes off toward third base, and he knows the ball sit out in front of the plate. So with his great speed, he just hustles home. Now watch him round third base. A little tap in front. The catcher is going to feel the ball. That leaves home plate wide open. Betts sees that, and the head first slide. What a terrific base running play by Mookie Betts. Man, is he playing some baseball. He hesitated coming around third base for a second, but then when he saw the catcher out fielding that ball, who should be out there making the play at first base, Betts realized nobody was at home plate, and with my speed, I can make it. There's the attempted steal. The third contact is made. The hesitation, the look toward home plate, the head for a slide. Another run for the Red Sox.
You hear coaches talk about baseball sense. He's got it.
That is exactly right, Don. Excellent point.
1-0 pitch is a little bit low, and it's 2-0.
Baseball instincts.
Helps to have the speed and athleticism that he has. Got to know what to do with it also, as Ortiz fouls it off the shoe tops.
But the intelligence there to look for the play, you know that the catcher had made that play and looking toward home plate and knowing nobody's there and he can't get back in time.
As the catcher, you don't expect a guy to be coming like that.
No, and he did, and Perez did everything he could do.
Sox grab a run here on top 3-1, looking for more. Big Papi's 0 for 2. He's rounded out to short twice tonight. And takes ball 3.
Once again, another look at Mookie Betts. Now he's looking toward home plate, wide open. He sees the throw. There he goes. No contest.
Ball 4, David Ortiz is on. There's the second walk given up by Volquez of his outing. 2 on with 2 outs in the inning.
You know, Don, we were talking about baseball instincts, and one guy that's still working on baseball instincts is Rusney Castillo, who has a ton of talent, but has not yet reached the point where Mookie Betts is intellectually with the game. Mookie's unbelievable to me. I mean, a guy that was, just Double-A last year, coming up to the big leagues, a better center fielder than the second baseman. He knows how to run the bases. I mean, just a smart player. And a guy like Rusney, to me, is still learning the instincts of the game of baseball. He's got the great talent. There's no question about that.
The problem is where he is age-wise.
That is the surprising thing. 28 years old. But you got to remember, too, that he has not played a lot of baseball in the last, 2-3 years.
Rusney on the bench to begin the ball game tonight. 2 on, 2 down. And here's Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez has grounded out to second, single to left. It's one of the 6 Red Sox hits in the game. In the air to deep left field, down the line towards the pole, and a foul ball. A drive for Hanley Ramirez there. And of course, last night Hanley had his 14th home run of the year. Tonight, 1 for 2. Single to left field in the 4th inning. Batting with 2 on, 2 down here in the 5th. Chops it off the plate. It'll stay foul.
Hanley has not had great success in his career against Valdez. He's now 4 for 22 against him. And a lot of it's because of that sinking fastball down and in.
Broken bat, soft liner that's going to go into left center field for a hit. Brock Holt coming around from second base, and the Red Sox will take a 4-1 lead. Hanley Ramirez with a 2-out RBI.
Yeah, broken bat. It sounded like a breaking ball toward the outside part of the plate. Hanley toward the end of the bat, but gets it out the goal with the head of Escobar and picks up the RBI. Almost threw his bat at the baseball that time like it was a hit and run. Broken bat, as you can see, but around comes Brock Holt. The Red Sox increase their lead.
So a 2-hit night for Hanley Ramirez. Drives in a run, and it brings up Pablo Sandoval. Sandoval down the line at first, and that is a fair ball. Hosmer with a great play. He'll dive to the bag, so will Sandoval, but Hosmer wins the diving contest as he gets there first ahead of Sandoval. Red Sox score twice, take a 4-1 lead.
The 5th, and another great play by Hosmer at first base. Valdez again not going over to cover the bag, and he looks up. There's no pitcher there, so he dives in with the glove and is able to get the out at first base. I think Hosmer was surprised as anybody when he went into the dive, looked up, and his pitcher's not there.
Rios hit by Porcello. Beginning things here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
That's the last thing you want to do at this stage of the game. Mid-game, up to 4-1. You do not want the leadoff man on, and Porcello hits Rios with a sinker.
Second batter hit tonight. Sixth hit batter by Porcello on the season. He had hit Escobar in the first inning. He hits Rios here in the fifth. Now here's Omar Infante, number 9 man. There's strike one to Infante. Grounded out to shortstop in the third inning. 0 for 1. Runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Red Sox. A run, 4 hits, no errors for the Royals. Runner goes at first. Infante with an open hole on the left side gets a base hit. Heading for third is Rios, and all of a sudden it's first and third, nobody out. Holt was going to cover the bag as Rios was stealing and open up the hole left side.
That's a good play. You know, your offense has been a little bit stagnant in this game, and so you're down by 4 runs, and you have that type of offense that doesn't strike out, makes contact, and that time the Red Sox infielders guess wrong on the hit and run play, not expecting it, and a wide open hole at shortstop.
First and third, nobody out. The bottom of the order has set the table for the top of the order now for Kansas City. Alcides Escobar has been on twice. Hit by a pitch and single. Lead on the fastball that time.
We told you last night, if you watched the game, the Royals, they don't walk much. They last in the league in walks, and they're the toughest team to strike out. Very aggressive offensive club.
Only 2 strikeouts tonight so far for Porcello, working here in the 5th inning. Escobar on the ground up the middle into center field, a base hit. Rios will score, and it's now 4-2, Boston on top. Third time Escobar has been aboard tonight.
Well, you know, we talked about it, Don, when he hit the leadoff man, Rios. You know, it's the last thing you want to do. You got a 3-run lead, and you put the first man on by a hit batter, then a couple of base hits follow. All of a sudden, it's a 2-run ball game.
Mike Moustakas grounded into a 4-6-3 double play in the first. He doubled in the third. Stock is taken all the way. Is time called? Well, they're going to call a balk. That's what they're going to do. Second and third now. Didn't come to a stop, according to the second base umpire, Dan Bellino.
Bellino's making a motion like he stopped twice. And we'll see if we can pick that up on replay. I didn't see it initially. Take one more look. Well, that's a little bit late. You got to start it a little bit sooner than that. Oh, look here. Let's see if he stops twice. That's a rinky-dink call right there, in my opinion.
So second and third now as a result of the balk. And still nobody out. Down and into the dirt. 2-0.
Don Farrell and Al Willis talking about who they may be getting up in the bullpen right now.
Two-0 pitch. High fly ball, sending Mookie Betts back. Still going. Betts back onto the warning track to make the catch. Plenty deep enough for Bolt to tag. It'll score Infante to make this a one-run game. It's 4-3 Boston. 2 runs so far in the inning for Kansas City. Sac fly for Moustakas.
And a good sac fly. I mean, he gets a run home and he also gets a run to the third base with less than 2 outs. Very productive long out there by Moustakas. Red Sox pull the infield in now with 1 out, man at third base.
Well, the tying run 90 feet away in Escobar. Now 1 out in the inning. Moustakas picks up his 26th RBI of the year. Here's Lorenzo Cain. Last night, Stephen Wright finished the game for the Red Sox. Now you may think of in a long relief type role, but it's Tommy Lane who's up right now. Ursello running into trouble here. 4 1/3 deep into his outing. Cain on the ground to the backhand. Sandoval can't get the runner there. Double pump. It'll be late. Throws it away. And now it's tied. Not only did Pablo not get the runner at third, he double pumps and throws it away, and it's 4-4. Single error charge to Sandoval, no RBI, and he is down. Brad Pearson, the trainer, John Farrell, the manager, to check on him.
I could not tell where he got hurt, but Sandoval tries to go back to third base right there to get the tag, and that's going to cost him. He double pumps. The throw to first base goes awry, and we are all tied at 4. And with that bad throw, of course, the man goes into scoring position. But right there, Pablo really had no chance, in my opinion, to get the man back, going back to third base. And I still have no idea what the injury might be. Now you kind of got to know who's running, and running down that first base line is Cain, and he can run. So you don't have time, to pull the type of play that Pablo pulled there.
It looks like John Farrell's calling for somebody to come take his spot, and Pablo Sandoval is going to leave this game. Travis Shaw, who started the game at third base for the Red Sox since his call-up, now taking over at third base.
Right down the third base line, Sandoval takes a peek at that runner at third base, but it's going to be too late, and I still can't tell what the injury might be. When he stretched out the throw, maybe he pulled a groin or something, but taken out of the game, and all of a sudden you got a 4-4 game.
So Travis Shaw at third base, and Eric Hosmer coming up. Cain ended up at second base, so the go-ahead run in scoring position now. Hosmer tonight has walked and struck out.
Got to keep your eye on Kane at second base. He loves the run.
Already has 3 stolen bases in this game. Stole second in the first, stole third in the first, and then stole second in the third. Rick Porcello's pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. 4 1/3, 7 hits, 4 runs. Walked a batter, struck out 2. 75 pitches deep into his outing right now, with Tommy Lane continuing to warm in the pen. Hosmer jumping back out of the way of ball 1. Inning all started with a hit batsman. He hit Alex Rios to begin the inning.
The reason Porcello's stepping off because Holt, who's playing behind Lorenzo Cain, keeps coming into the second base bag, hoping for a daylight play.
On the ground down the first baseline, foul. And Porcello's ahead here, 1-2. Andres Morales waiting on deck. Still only 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So far, a 3-run bottom of the 5th inning for Kansas City. On the ground, right side. Pedroia throws out Hosmer, but taking third base is Lorenzo Cain with now 2 outs in the inning.
That's how it all started this inning. Rios getting hit by a 2-seam fastball on the hip. And that got things rolling here for an offense that was pretty flat up until that point.
Lorenzo Cain, the go-ahead run, 90 feet away. 2 down here in the 5th inning. Morales has grounded out at second base and flied out to center. Pitch 80. And it's a high fly ball to deep right field. If it stays fair, it's gone. It is fair, and it's gone. 2-run home run for Kendrys Morales, his 8th of the year. And a 6-4 Kansas City lead now.
Home runs have just absolutely hurt Porcello so far this season. 2 tonight, 13 total on the season. That's the most on the Red Sox staff. Morales turns around a high fastball. They want to go inside. They get it inside, but he turns it around.
Red Sox had a 4-1 lead coming into this inning. They trail 6-4 now. is up and away. 2-0.
We think that Lane would be ready by this point down in the Red Sox bullpen.
I don't see him warming up right now. Stopped. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He is sitting down. This is Rick Porcello's game now. Ball 3, full count. He walks Alex Gordon, 8th batter that he faces in the inning. Second walk given up by Porcello. Carl Willis going to make a trip out there.
Looks like they're going to get somebody else up right now down in the bullpen.
Now it'll be Stephen Wright, who finished last night's game.
The only thinking this could be is they had Lane ready in case it was a tie game and they had to go to him, and now they're going to the knuckleball pitcher while they're down in the game. But
I think you got to get Porcello out of there one way or another.
Absolutely. I thought for sure he'd come out after the home run, especially with Gordon coming to the plate. That's why I looked at the bullpen, and as you mentioned, nobody was throwing. Lane and sat back down. Now they're just wasting time to get some pitches in for Stephen Wright.
They'll get immediate care without leaving the ballpark at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center First Aid Station, located behind Section 12 on the lower concourse. BIDMC is the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox. 9th member of the Royals to bat here in the 5th inning is Salvador Perez. And a ground ball towards Pedroia at second base. That will end the inning. But a big inning for Kansas City. They score 5 times, take a 6-4 lead. Tonight's game, Adam Pellerin and Steve Lyons will break down the game, and you'll hear from Rick Porcello and John Farrell. Whatever, whenever, wherever. Who but W.B. Mason? Porcello surrendering 5 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning. He's given up 2 home runs in this ball game tonight. Kansas City with a 6-4 lead now as the Red Sox come to bat in the top of the 6th inning. Mike Napoli to lead it off. 2-0 pitch. Napoli with a healthy hack there and a fastball down and in.
I'll get up for a 2-0 fastball. He got it, but it was low and in.
Fly ball to right field. Alex Rios over towards the line to make the catch for the first out of the 6th inning. Stay right here after the 3rd out of this inning for a special behind-the-scenes look at what happens in between innings from Kauffman Stadium here in Kansas City.
If you're lucky, you might see one of those ketchup, mustard, and hot dog races or whatever they call, whatever they are.
Franklin Morales up in the pen for Kansas City. First action we've seen out there tonight is Volquez has 1 out in the 6th. Alejandro De Aza grounding out to first base in the 2nd. Flied out to center in the 4th inning. Line to right, and that is a foul ball. Fly ball this time to left center field towards the gap area, and it's going to get down to the track on the wall. De Aza is thinking 3, headed in that direction. Throw will go to 3rd, and he will be safe. Good speed displayed right there by De Aza, who gets himself a 1-out triple.
And there's a case where the base runner pretty much makes the decision on his own. That ball's in front of De Aza as he's heading around second base, so he knows with his speed and how deep the ball was that he had a chance for a triple. And you have to be sure down by a couple of runs. Gordon chasing it down, gets it all the way to third base, but De Aza watching the play, making the decision, does not look at the third base coach. He knows he's going, and he makes it.
Now Ned Yost, the manager for the Royals, headed out. Volquez giving up the 1-out triple here in the 6th inning. And the pitching line for Volquez, brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. 5 1/3, 8 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, no Ks, and he is going to hand off the baseball here. Going to make the pitching change after 5 1/3 innings. Volquez done for the night as he heads off. Pitching change from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, 6-4 Royals. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Back in Kansas City, Royals have a 6-4 lead now. 1 out, top of the 6th inning. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Kia, former Red Sox left-hander. Franklin Morales into the game here for Kansas City. Morales into his 28th game, 3-0, the 2.93 earned run average. 16 strikeouts, 6 walks, and opponents hitting at .202 against Morales. Pitched the 8th inning on Wednesday against Milwaukee. He had made a total of 93 appearances and 10 starts for the Red Sox between 2011 and 2013. And, of course, a member of the 2013 Red Sox championship team. Appeared in 3 postseason games that year. Sandy Leon pinch hitting here for Blake Swihart. Jerry, we had noted earlier that Swihart appeared to be injured at the play at third base. His left foot appeared to be a problem. He stayed in the game, but now coming out in lieu of a pinch hitter here in Leon.
Yeah, it looked like he may have twisted his ankle going into third base back in the 5th inning, and that's why we see Leon at the plate right now.
Strike 1, even though Perez didn't catch it. Leon down the line at third, but foul. Headed behind De Aza. Top of the order, Mookie Betts waiting on deck. 1 out. De Aza had triple after Mike Napoli had flied out to right field. Edinson Volquez responsible for De Aza at third base. Inside, almost hit Leon. Ryan Madsen up in the pen for Kansas City.
That's the play earlier that Swihart got hurt on back in the 5th inning. As he came up limping, you can see him roll over and grab that left ankle. And apparently that's very tender, so he's out of the game right now, and Leon in.
Outside 2-2. Jerry, we haven't had to worry about this year, but I wonder who the emergency catcher would be.
If I was to guess,
Brock Holt. Mike Napoli, who has played the position for years.
I'm not sure they'd want to put him back there, though. But you're right, Don. That's a good question.
Swing and a miss. Leon strikes out, 2 down.
Good slider, good hard slider from Morales that time to pick up the strikeout, and that's not a good strikeout at all with a man at third base and 1 out. Infield was back. All you needed was contact to pick up a run.
Ed Yost back out there again. Morales in there for the 1 batter. And Pierce, you got Madsen ready to go in the pen with Mookie Betts coming up. So 1 and done. Alex Spear from the Boston Globe checking in about the Royals bullpen. They've been very good. 1.94 ERA. Morales departing. So Madsen making his way in.
They gave those numbers on the bullpen, and they are exceptionally good when they're ahead in the game. That group that they use when they're ahead in the game, a lot of hard throwers. We saw that last year take them to the World Series, and their bullpen was lights out.
Oh, the pitching change and send it down to Guerin.
Hey, thanks, Don. After this series against the Royals, the Sox head home for 3 games against the Orioles, and then they have a divisional road trip with 3 games in Tampa, followed by a 4-game set in Toronto. After that series against the Blue Jays, Don, the Sox will be home until after the All-Star break.
A lot of road games for the Red Sox, and of course back home just for the 3 briefly before getting back out on the road again. Red Sox trailing here 6-4. Well, Jerry, a busy fifth inning for Kansas City.
That starts off with a hit batter, and we talked about it at the time. That's the last thing you want to do when you got the lead is hit anybody or walk anybody, and that's what happens. This is the balk that was called, and to me, that was a very rinky-dink call right there. The throw away by Sandoval at first base. Another run comes in. He gets hurt on the play and has to come out of the game, and Morales, the icing on the cake with a 2-run home run.
Franklin Morales on his birthday faces one batter. He's able to get Sandy Leon. But Tuesday in an all-new Red Sox report, 40 years after one of the greatest World Series ever played, members of the 1975 Red Sox relive their memories from that magical run. Don't miss the Red Sox report Tuesday at 5. Ian Madsen in the game here for Kansas City, 28th appearance, 0-1 with a 1.93 earned run average, 28 strikeouts. Opponents hitting at just 184 against him. Mookie Betts will take strike one at the top of the zone. Ball and a strike. Alejandro De Aza at third base. 2 down here in the Boston 6th inning. One and two. Swing and a miss. Betts strikes out. Perez got to throw him out, and he does. So the Red Sox leave Alejandro De Aza at third base. Don't go anywhere. Let's stay in the park. Noticed that Stephen Wright has been warming up as he comes into this game. Rick Porcello chased from the game after 5.
And the interesting thing about Wright, when he came in with two gloves, his glove and the oversized catcher's mitt to give to the catcher.
Wright finished the ball game last night for the Red Sox, and here he is tonight, his 11th appearance, 3-2, 4.01 earned run average, 24 strikeouts, 13 walks. But it's sitting at 244 against Wright. And he's got a new catcher to work with, Sandy Leon, who pinch hit for Blake Swihart. So out with injuries tonight, it appears Pablo Sandoval and Blake Swihart both leaving the game. Alex Rios has grounded out to short and hit by a pitch. Last night, Wright went an inning, giving up 2 hits and a run. As he starts this inning, Tommy Lane back up for Boston again. Into left field and a base hit for Alex Rios. It's time now for a game break, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Adam? All right, Adam, thanks very much. Lead runner on here for the Royals in the bottom of the 6th inning. Omar Infante makes a knuckler high for ball 1.
And of course, with Wright and the knuckleball on the mound, Rios becomes a threat to steal at first base.
That'll drop in there for a strike, 1-1. We got the Yankees winning again tonight, 11-0 against Detroit. They're in the 5th. Tampa Bay winning 4-0 against Cleveland. Teams at the top of the American League East continue to win. Runner goes at first. The bobble on the transfer. And it's flat out dropped by Leon. No chance to get Rios to steal second base.
Just a matter of time. You pick a pitch when there's a knuckleballer on the mound. You want to run as soon as you get an opportunity. And then on the transfer out of the big oversized catcher's glove, cannot get through a throwing hand.
Fly ball. Right center field. Betts on the move. Mookie will get there. Tagging and heading for third is Rios. Throw going there, and it'll go off the runner. Backed up, though, by Stephen Wright. But Rios able to tag up and get to third.
There's Mookie Betts trying to get him squared up the third base for the long throw. The throw's going to hit the runner, as you can see, or deflect off the glove of Travis Shaw. But backed up doing his job is right. Now expect anything with the infield in, 1 out, possible squeeze. Push one down the first base line, could be anything.
Cities Escobar has been on base 3 times, hit by a pitch, 2 singles. 1 darts up and in.
If you're going to squeeze, now would be the time to do it, because you're likely going to see a fastball here on the 2-0 count.
Swing and a miss.
No fastball. Did not give in to him. Stayed with the knuckleball. That knuckleball that kind of acts like a curveball going away from Escobar.
Little pop-up, shallow right. De Aza coming in to make the basket catch, and back to third base goes Rios. Nice running catch by De Aza. 2 down.
Yeah, De Aza playing very shallow out there with Escobar at the plate, and that gave him an opportunity because there's no chance for Pedroia because they're playing the infield in. So De Aza able to come in and make the catch, and that's going to hold the runner at third base who was playing it halfway between third and home.
Well, John Farrell out to make the change as Tommy Lane ready to go. So Stephen Wright faces 3 batters, goes 2/3 of an inning. And Tommy Lane, who had been up earlier, back up this inning and now into the game. Now appeared in 7 of the last 11 Red Sox games. Since June the 10th, it's his 28th overall appearance. 0-1 with a 2.86 earned run average. 24 strikeouts to 11 walks, and opponents hitting at 192 against Tommy Lane. Tonight's game summary is brought to you by Xfinity. Rick Porcello chased from this game after 5 innings. Right now on the hook, he gave up 6 earned runs, including 2 home runs. Mookie Betts 2 for 3 with a home run, his 7th of the year. Edinson Volquez, the pitcher of record right now for Kansas City, 5 1/3, 4 runs. Kendrys Morales with a 2-run home run, and Salvador Perez has his 11th home run of the year. It's 6-4 Kansas City with 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Stephen Wright comes in, faces 3 batters, gave up the leadoff single to Alex Rios, who now stands at third base. He was able to get Infante to fly out to center, Escobar to fly out to right. Join the 2020 Club and enjoy an affordable fun night at Fenway Park. Groups of 20 or more start at $20 each. Visit redsox.com/groups for more information. Mike Moustakas has grounded into a double play. Double to right field. And last time up, did a sac fly, picking up his 26th RBI of the year. There is strike 1. Tommy Lane inheriting a runner here with Rios at third base. Moustakas to right center for a base hit. In from third comes Rios, and Kansas City takes a 7-4 lead. Moustakas with his 2nd hit of the night, 2nd RBI.
And that's big, too. It's against a tough left-hander. You know, we've mentioned many times how tough Lane can be on left-handed hitters because he hides the ball so well. But and that pitch is down and away. Moustakas able to still go down and get it and put it on a line in the center field. Very good hitting. But Rios, who started the inning off, actually a couple of innings, one with a hit batter, one with a base hit, has kind of ignited this offense for the Kansas City Royals tonight.
(2-0) to Lorenzo Cain. Cain with a single to left field in the first, single in the infield at third in the fifth. 2 for 3 in this game, and has stolen 3 bases. Three and 0. Run that scored is charged to Stephen Wright as you see Craig Breslow warming in the Red Sox pen. 4-pitch walk, and down to first base goes Kane. Now 2-on with 2 outs for Kansas City. Third walk allowed by Red Sox pitching tonight. And Carl Willis out to buy some time now for Craig Breslow. Hey, Red Sox fans, before you head out on summer vacation, make sure you download the schedule into your favorite desktop, web, or mobile calendar program by visiting NESN.com/schedule. Kansas City with action of their own. Kelvin Herrera is in the pen. Already seen Franklin Morales and Ryan Madsen in this game. Eric Hosmer has walked, struck out, grounded out to second. Stockus at second base, Kane at first base. 2 down, a run in here for Kansas City in the bottom of the 6th inning. On the ground, foul. Inside for ball 2. Andres Morales, who is homer tonight, waiting on deck. Popped up. Shallow left as Ramirez makes the catch that ends the inning. But Kansas City with a run in the inning. Royals take a 7-4 lead. Sox final presented by Uno's. Adam Pellerin and Steve Lyons will wrap up the night across Major League Baseball. 7-4 Kansas City on top of Boston. As we head into the 7th inning, new pitcher Kelvin Herrera into the game now for Kansas City. 28th appearance, 1-1 with a 2.16 earned run average. 25 strikeouts in 25 innings. 10 walks, and opponents hitting under 200 against Herrera at 191. Last pitched on Thursday against Milwaukee. Left-handers hitting only 122 against him. As Alex Spear points out, average fastball 97.8, tops in the American League. He can bring it.
And the first one was only 99.
Bolt 1 for 3 in this game. And an RBI double back in the 3rd inning. That was a hundo.
Hundo at the bottom of the strike zone, too. Brock Holt fortunate to get that call the ball.
Strike called.
Talk about power arms coming out of the bullpen. Don, I think I'd call this one a power arm.
I would agree. That's really what Kansas City did too last year in the postseason. Once that starter came out, it was power arm after power arm. Two balls, 2 strikes to Brock Holt, Dustin Pedroia, David Ortiz expected to bat in the inning. Swing and a miss, elevated at 98.
Now, you throw so hard like that, when you're up 98, 99, 100 miles an hour, I mean, those fastballs upstairs are just about impossible to hit. They look so good because they're about eye level. But when you start trying to chase them, they're going to get by you.
Meek Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance. One down here in the 7th inning for Dustin Pedroia. Dustin has flied to right, grounded to short, and a little number in front of the plate. So 0 for 3 in his return to the Red Sox lineup tonight. On the corner at 99. That's tough.
Once again, that fastball this time working away from Dustin Pedroia.
Breaking ball and a one-hopper picked by Infante. Throws out Pedroia, 2 down.
A very smooth play there by Infante on a ball that's hit very hard. Looked like it might have been a base hit. But Infante makes it look easy on the backhand. Ball carries him back to the outfield grass, but he knows he has plenty of time. It was hit so hard to get Pedroia at first base. And Herrera likes that play.
2 down here in the 7th inning for David Ortiz. He has grounded to short twice tonight and walked. David didn't think that was a strike.
Something off speed that time, either probably a changeup or a split. That was only 91.
Strike call. David didn't like that either. Let's see why. It appears to be away.
Yeah, it looked like the two pitches that were called strikes, and you can see how far that Salvador Perez brings that back to the corner. Ortiz immediately having words with Dreckman, the home plate umpire.
Ortiz will lift this into center field for a base hit. And David aboard here with 2 down, kind of flung the bat into fair ground. So he was headed down the first base line. And David looking back in the direction of home plate umpire Bruce Dreckman.
And Dreckman getting back at Ortiz too, it looks like.
The bat flip by Ortiz.
And he's throwing him out of the game.
So John Farrell out here now after David's been ejected. Crowd's going to let David hear it as he heads off here.
Now let's see if Ortiz has something to say to Dreckman on the way by. The third base umpire Hallion's going to try to head him off at the pass.
David's telling him he's too sensitive. Now David's thrown him out of the game.
Well, it looked to me like when David made contact on that, he did throw the bat back toward not home plate, but in front of home plate.
Yes.
And that certainly upset Dreckman right away. Now, I don't know what was said down at first base. I have no idea what was said. But Dreckman was giving it right back to Ortiz at first base, and finally he just threw him out of the ballgame. Here's David when he gets to first base. Now, what does he do? Pointing to him, that's about it. Just shaking his head. Yeah, he's talking to him, but I mean, it's nothing, nothing big right there to that point. And then it's the heave-ho.
Rusney Castillo now in the game for David, running for him at first base with 2 down.
Stuff just can't happen, though. It just can't happen.
Side outswing fouled off to the right, 0-2.
I mean, to me, watching it, did it seem enough to bring an ejection in the game? No, I don't think so.
It'd be interesting to see where this bat ended up. This is where it ended up.
Yeah, that's where the bat ended up, and I think that's what Dreckman was, upset about in the first place.
It did seem like the crowd picked up as the conversation went on. It's almost like they led to that ejection. David kept going, and then you saw kind of the
pointing
motion too by the home plate umpire.
Yeah, and then he pointed to him a little bit, and then the toss came, and there's a toss to the bat
over the shoulder, kind of back.
And I don't think Bregman liked that at all.
No.
And if David would have stayed at first base and not even looked in, nothing would have happened probably.
One-two pitch. Ramirez on the ground to second base. Infante to first for the out that ends the top of the seventh. Seventh inning stretch. It's 7-4 Kansas City. Kansas City out hitting the Red Sox 10-9. Red Sox moving on to their fourth pitcher of the night, Craig Breslow, into his 20th game. Got a record of 4.24 earned run average in 23 1/3 innings. Let's take a look at the Toyota play of the game.
Morales with a 2-run home run in that big fifth inning that the Royals had. Gets a high inside fastball, hooks it. Plus that's the inning. 5 runs came in for the Royals. They added 1 in the 6th, and now back here in the 7th.
Kendrys Morales going to lead it off here against Craig Breslow. Fly ball center field. Mookie Betts will move over and make the catch. Almost lost it in the light bank, but he makes the grab for the first out of the 7th inning. Double barreled action. Wade Davis and Jason Frazier warming in the pen for Kansas City. Alex Gordon coming up. Yeah, struck out, fly to left and walked. Breslow last worked on Wednesday at Atlanta, allowing a run and a hit. Walked the batter and had a strikeout. Been his first appearance since June the 4th against Minnesota. 2-1 pitch. There's ball 3. Out ahead of that and fouling it up to the upper deck.
Last night's crowd was announced to 38,000. We were surprised on. We thought there were more than that in this ballpark, and filled up again tonight. We'll see what the crowd is tonight, but I thought it held more than that.
Swing and a miss, and Gordon goes chasing and strikes out. 2 down here in the 7th inning. Let's get an update on some of the injured Red Sox from Garrett Austin.
Thanks, Don. Blake, we're getting official word that Blake Swihart has a left foot sprain and that Pablo Sandoval has a left ankle sprain. Back to you.
So not good news there.
If that's the case, the Red Sox must be on the horn right now to try to get a backup catcher in there for tomorrow, you would think. I mean, if Swihart's got a foot sprain, that leaves him with Sandy Leon. You would think that they would have to call somebody up in a backup role for tomorrow.
Of course, we play day baseball here tomorrow in the finale of the series.
You can get somebody here.
An 0 pitch down low, 2-0. As fouls it off, and it's 2-1. Red Sox at one time in this game had a 4-1 lead. Now trails 7-4 with Kansas City batting here in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs. And Perez hits a high fly ball to left, sending Hanley Ramirez back the edge of the track as he makes the catch that ends the inning. 1-2-3 inning for Breslow, but a 7-4 Kansas City lead. Airlines. Book your low fare now on Southwest.com. Digital Federal Credit Union. See what DCU can save you. And by the Kia Sorrento. Back in Kansas City, where the Royals have a 7-4 lead over the Red Sox. We head into inning number 8. And a new pitcher now for the Kansas City Royals, Wade Davis, the former Tampa Bay Ray, into his 30th game of the year. 3-1. How about the ERA? 0.31 in 29 innings, 32 strikeouts and 10 walks. Opponent's hitting at 131. The former starter, who becomes the 5th pitcher of the ball game tonight for Kansas City. I mentioned that 0.31 ERA. Alex Spear weighing in from the Boston Globe, lowest in the majors among pitchers with at least 10 innings. It's over for Herrera, who in an inning allowed a hit, had a strikeout. Travis Shaw in his first at bat takes strike 1. Shaw took over at third base for Pablo Sandoval, left the game with a left ankle sprain. Shaw so far 0 for 7 this year with the Red Sox. Second stint with Boston this year. And takes a ball, 1-1. Signed by the Red Sox, a 9th round pick in 2011. Ball and 2 strikes. He is the son of 2-time All-Star Jeff Shaw. Pitched in the major leagues from 1990 through 2001. Two balls, 2 strikes. Sean Napoli and De Aza scheduled to bat in the inning. There's Napoli, 6, 7, and 8 for Boston. Up over the mound and coming from second base, Infante with a throw that is in time for the first out of the inning.
Infante very smooth at second base, always has been. Makes another smooth play there to get short at first base.
Tomorrow 1, don't miss Red Sox first pitch presented by Joseph Abboud. Available at Men's Warehouse. It's Father's Day, and you'll hear from Red Sox players and what that special day means to them. 1 out here in the 8th inning, and it brings up Mike Napoli. Napoli walked in the 2nd, lined to short in the 4th inning, fly to right in the 6th inning. Wade Davis is not allowed a home run in over 111 innings, dating back to September of 2013. Ranked 2nd in the major leagues, only behind Dylan Betances in ERA. He's got a 0.26 earned run average. The Yankee reliever, this one fouled off to the right, 1-2.
Been a wide range on his fastball too, from a 91 to 96, and that seems slow compared to Herrera, who was in there at 99 to 100.
This is a part of the game you don't want to be trailing in when you're facing the Kansas City Royals. Alejandro De Aza waiting on deck, 1 out here in the Red Sox 8th inning. Foul back to the screen, still 2-2. Barnaby, Wade Miley on the mound. Matched up against Chris Young. Young is 6-2 with a 1.98 earned run average. Wade Miley 6-6 with a 4.88 earned run average. Napoli goes around and strikes out for the 2nd out of the 8th inning.
First curveball that Davis has featured tonight and completely fooled Napoli on it. Been all fastballs prior to that.
Two down here in the 8th, and it brings up De Aza. Triple his last time up in the 6th inning, but could not score. Was left at third base. Sandy Leon struck out, and Mookie Betts struck out. Right on the corner. There's Sandy Leon waiting on deck. Tonight on NESN Sports Today, Nicky and Jameson will have 3 surprises from Patriots minicamp. That's tonight after our Red Sox coverage on NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. On the ground right side, Infante can't get it. It's into right, and Ayaza has his second hit of the night.
Triple back in the 6th inning. Now the single. I thought Infante was going to dive for that ball, and I thought he had a legitimate chance of getting to it if he does dive, but elected not to. The ball gets by him, and Ayaza picks up his second hit, so he's 2 for 4.
Two down, runner at first base. Here's Sandy Leon. A strikeout victim in his only at bat. He took over pinch hitting for Swihart in the 6th inning. Nick Swihart leaving with a left foot sprain. Swing and a miss on a pitch down and in. Ball and a strike now to Leon. That's a record right now for the Royals. Edinson Volquez went 5 1/3, giving up 4 runs. Bullpen is not allowed a run since they have taken over in this game, and there's been 4 relievers for Ned Yost. Fly ball center field right at Lorenzo Cain for the last out of the top of the 8th inning. 7-4, Royals have the lead. Adam Pellerin and Steve Lyons to preview Wade Miley's start against the Royals. DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? 7-4, Kansas City on top of Boston as we head into the bottom of the 8th inning. And Craig Breslow back on the mound, had a 1-2-3 7th inning. They'll be dealing with 8, 9, and 1 in the order for Kansas City. It starts with Alex Rios. Rios has been aboard twice after grounding out the shortstop in the second inning. Hit by a pitch in the fifth. Scored, singled, and scored in the sixth inning. Greg Holland getting ready in the pen. Now a save situation with the Royals up by 3.
Alex Rios tonight getting hit by a pitch to start off the 5th inning and then getting a base hit to start off the 6th inning and eventually stole the base right there and came around to score on the base hit. So Rios has been involved from that 8th spot in the batting order tonight.
Two and two. Out of the reach of Dustin Pedroia on the dive into center field. Rios on to begin yet another inning. This time the 8th inning with a base hit.
That sounded like a broken back too toward the end of the bat for Rios, but still a good direction as he gets it by the dive of Dustin Pedroia at second base. Last 3 times Rios has led off innings, he's been on base.
Lead runner on here for Kansas City brings up Omar Infante.
Be a little hit run play put on here. 1 ball, no strikes with Infante. He can handle the bat.
Blooped into shallow right. De Aza going in, and Pedroia going out to make the catch. Could turn it into 2, and he will. Dustin Pedroia with a great play out at short right field turns it into a double play.
Yeah, it didn't look like Dustin was going to get to that. Again, another ball toward the end of the bat, and Pedroia makes a tremendous play going back, and Rios makes a bad baseline play. He's going to hang out right there just to see if that ball drops in. Instead, he goes to second base, and he is completely out at first base. This has been a very weird game.
Two down here in the 8th inning. Now Alcides Escobar coming up. On the ground up the middle as Pedroia comes in. Changed direction on him, but he stays with it and throws out Escobar to end the inning. Red Sox coming up in the 9th, trailing 7-4. ninth inning. Greg Holland, the closer, in for Kansas City. His 18th appearance, 1-0 with a 3.31 earned run average. 12 saves in 13 opportunities. 15 Ks, has walked 10. But opponents hitting at just 161 against the right-hander. Mookie Betts leading it off here for Boston in the ninth inning. And he'll take strike one. 2 for 3 night tonight for Betts, including his 7th home run of the year. Brock Holt, Dustin Pedroia scheduled to bat in the inning. Anybody gets on, Rusney Castillo will have a chance. Unfortunately, David Ortiz ejected from this game, so it is Castillo who took over for him at first base. Ball and 2 strikes. Two and two now to Betts. A rare bad outing for Holland last Monday at Miller Park. Entered in a non-save situation, gave up 3 runs, 4 hits, walked a batter without retiring a batter. Now a one-hopper picked on the backhand by Infante, who throws out Betts. Nice play by Omar Infante.
Well, he's made a number of them in this game tonight. There's one I thought he should have dove for, but other than that, he has been outstanding at second base defensively for the Kansas City Royals. That hop behind him as he's going into center field and able to throw out Mookie Betts at first base.
One down for Brock Holt. Oh, the double back in the third inning. A 1 for 4 night. The double was an RBI double. Bouncing that 2-0. Dustin Pedroia on deck. 1 down, top of the ninth inning. Numbers for Holland against the Red Sox pretty tough too. He enters with 7 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings against Boston, a 0.84 earned run average, and the Red Sox against him hit at .059. But he walks on 4 pitches. Brock Holt with 1 out here in the ninth. 1 out, 1 on, and Pedroia coming up. Holland not happy with that. Oh for 4 for Dustin Pedroia tonight. He's flied out to right, grounded out 3 times. Strike 1.
Interesting how the velocity has dipped from the last 3 guys in the ball game. Herrera 100 miles an hour. You go to Davis, who goes down about 94, and that last fastball was 91 from Holland.
Roy well out ahead of this.
Holland has that though, the breaking ball, which is a little bit different than his the 2 guys that come in before him.
And 47 saves in 2013, 46 saves last year.
There's the curveball right there that Dustin Pedroia somehow makes contact on.
Does have a home run off Holland, just 2 at-bats against Holland. Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt, and Pedroia is 0 for 5 tonight, and out number 2 of the ninth.
And there's that breaking ball again to Pedroia, keeps it away from him. Down in the dirt, but chasing it. A couple of nasty breaking balls in that at-bat to Dustin Pedroia.
2 down, runner at first base. Instead of David Ortiz, here is Rusney Castillo. And Ortiz had been ejected. Arguing balls and strikes, I guess, technically by Bruce Streckman. Home plate umpire, albeit from first base. Rusney pinch ran in the 7th. Ball 1. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Foul tip. And the Ramirez hoping to get a chance here in the 9th. On the ground towards shortstop, Escobar charges in, throws on the run, and that's the ball game. Red Sox retired in the 9th inning as the Kansas City Royals were able to take game 2 of the series, beating the Red Sox 7-4 as Holland will pick up the save in this game. Volquez the win in this game, and it is now 6 straight losses for Rick Porcello, who will be dealt the loss in this game tonight, as the Red Sox had a 4-1 lead at one point in the game, but lose it 7-4. As the Royals take game 2, we send it back to Adam Pellerin. Adam?